Fine. So yesterday's session, we are understanding what actually Pega is. So first we concluded Pega is one automated tool wherein which we can design any type of web application. So this was our first statement. And yesterday we modified this little. So Pega is used for developing internal applications only. You take any organization, every organization will have one main website and n number of internal applications, right? All these internal applications are meant for improving their business. So we call these as business processing applications. Now Pega is mainly focusing on automating their internal applications only. And such tools we call it as BPM tools, right? So finally, Pega is one BPM tool. So where it will be making automation in terms of application creation till the deployment. So internally, it will be having a number of case type methodologies or data types, workflows, processes, ID generation, routing part, or handing off to the next departments, whatever it is. Internally, what are all the things to be automated? Everything happens with this Pega for that application. Okay, so this is one thing what we finalized. Okay, all the clients are choosing Pega. So no doubt their internal applications will be developed with this. And Pega even provides something called reporting. So as I told you, if I wanted to go for something about like visualization, say I have one credit card application. So we are having one credit card application or a bank. I'm a bank employee. So using this credit card application, I'll try to register multiple customers, right? So now my bank manager, what he has to do, he has to cross check how is this applicational statistics. So how many credit cards are issued today, maybe yesterday, last 1 week, maybe last 1 month. So how many are approved, how many are rejected, whatever it is. If you wanted to see the raw data in some pictorial form, we generally go for reporting structure. So for that, you need not go for any extra tool. So Pega inbuilt has such reporting options where you wanted to get it as a pie chart or a graphical or a line graph or horizontal graph, whatever it might be. So Pega provides visualization, visualization. And the next thing, so Pega is even providing something called integration. Suppose if we all wanted to start a bank in Hyderabad, so my requirement is not just about designing my application, right? So it is to be connected with something like third party applications also. It is to be included with something like versionizing into deployment into different servers. So there will be n number of other things. So here Pega is making development simple. It is providing integrate reporting part, and along with that, it is providing integrations also. What do you mean by integrations? Suppose, suppose if you go for a bank, so you are looking for a loan. Consider you're looking for a loan. So if you go for a bank and ask for a loan or ask for a credit card, so will they be straight away giving you credit card kit? No, right? So they are first supposed to check for your eligibility. Say if I'm a bank employee working in Citibank, if you're coming to me, I have to first check your PAN card based CIBIL's data. Maybe your past loans, how it is, and how are you repaying it, and what is like frequency. Everything I have to first go for underwriting process. So nothing but checking eligibility. So here in our Citibank credit card application, so if I search with PAN card number, I will be getting all your past loans, right? You might be having loans in Axis Bank or maybe HDFC Bank or different things. This Citibank is now retrieving data from different organizations. It is not like connected to each and every bank in India. So in India, there are like n number of banks, right? Nationalized bank, privatized bank. So maybe like public sector, whatever it is. But every banking should be connected to the main source, maybe RBI application, just an example, or civil application. So now whenever you request something like an PAN card number here, say you are a developer in Citibank. So it might be developed completely on Pega. Pega, nothing but background Java only, right? So now this Java application is sending some input to a third party application, maybe Civil. And Civil background technology may or may not be same. So if it is having same Pega as the background, integrating must be somehow easy. That is what generally we think. But we cannot guarantee both applications to be having same backend technologies, right? It might be having .NET and my current application might be running on Python, whatever it might be. So background integration should happen successfully. How it can be possible? How it can be possible? So I'm an Pega developer here. So I should design one UI screen first. So that is drag and dropping a button to capture PAN card number. As soon as I click on submit, the entered input should be sent to them. Meaning background somewhere Java processing is what I have to take care. This is completely running on Pega, nothing but Java. So this Java input, if we send to an application which is running on .NET, how they can understand? Okay, somehow they understood. So they will try to process. So they might be having their database in the background. So the received input might interact with their database, might be one SQL query, and the data again they are supposed to send it back. So here they are running everything on .NET, right? They are running everything on .NET. So the .NET structured data, if it is sent back to this, okay, so they are developed on Java, how they can understand? So here we are calling this as web services or API calls, or in some projects we call this as application integrating, whatever it is. In interviews, straight away they will ask you, so did you get experience working on web services? If so, what level? What do you mean by level here? So there might be something like a response we get maybe from a direct application or maybe from indirect application also. So let me give you example stating here. Say this is our Citibank application developed on Pega. And this might be something like RBI application, which might be developed on .NET or Python. So this is like actual database. So now this application, when they're searching for some input, so no doubt this must be sent, right, and they have to process and they are supposed to send back. So in this whole journey, so this first application we call it as requester application, requester or consumer application or downstream application, and the other one we call it as provider application or upstream application. So in interviews straight away they'll ask you, did you work on integrations? If you say yes, so is your system acting like a requester or a provider? So if it is like a provider, how did you accept their input? Their background might be something different, right? How did you accept their input? So how it is understandable for our Pega language? Say this is like no Pega, so how it is understandable for Pega? And after this, are you like direct having source or getting source from somewhere else? Okay, so once that source is ready, then we are supposed to send it back, right? So if you are sending your Pega structured data as this, how are they understanding? So all these things you should clearly understand. Maybe if requester is requesting for something, a PAN card number which is like expired now, meaning the candidate might be inactive. That PAN card associated customer might be inactive. So if it is inactive, then you are not supposed to send his past loans. Instead, you have to send a message like customer expired or customer inactive, customer account is blocked. So, how are we handling these exceptions? So, in between, how are you looking for some authentication? Okay, so this is something like our application, right? So, every one of us will log in. Maybe I'll develop something, or if you're a tester, you'll log in and you'll test something. So maybe the real users, whatever it is, we all should be logging in. For that, there will be ID and password for every one of us, no doubt. So now maybe a third party application is sending some input without any human intervention here. Everything is automated and everything is running back, right? Who is giving permission for the third party application? So at our provider application, how did you manage your authentication? How did you manage your authorization? Okay, and if you wanted to restrict with only 5 interactions per day, how are you stopping? How are you checking for that limit? Okay, so maybe if you are a provider, no doubt you are providing something to the requester, right? Meaning you'll charge for each and every request what they are searching for. You'll charge for each and everything. Suppose if you are having one HDFC account, You'll be having with one ATM card also for that, right? If you go to HDFC ATM machine or HDFC ATM center, you can withdraw n number of times. There is no limit for you. So you are an official customer of that HDFC bank. Now with the same ATM card, if you go to SBI ATM center, okay, so what is happening? So you are trying to make some transactions of money withdrawal or checking for balance inquiry and other things, but you are something like third party for that ATM center, right? So here what is happening at that SBI center is providing an service to HDFC guys. So which is nothing but hardly they will be providing only 5 free transactions per month. So if you are trying to do maybe sixth one or seventh one, you have to pay maybe almost like 25 rupees per every transaction, right? Okay, so what is happening? If we are interacting with third party, generally provider will charge here. Now, how are you calculating these charges? So if PAN card number, if they are requesting from the provider, if it is valid, we are sending back some past loans, right? Okay, provider should charge maybe $1 or $2 for this. If requester is searching for something like a PAN card number which is inactive now, so in that scenario, you are not sending back any valid data, right? So there you should not go for any kind of exceptions, or you should not go for any kind of extra billing related. So how are you handling everything from provider's perspective? So how did you handle everything from requester's perspective? So maybe if you are like in second tier of uh, application, how are you handling this? What do you mean by the statement? Suppose generally we will be getting calls from people saying like, are you looking for credit card or not? Okay, so generally you'll daily get a call saying like, we are calling from HDFC or we are calling from ICICI Bank. Are you looking for any credit card or not? This is what generally we frequently get calls, right? But they are not the original HDFC employees. Then who are they? So they are nothing but one part of consultancy. Say ABC is one consultancy. Okay, and an employee here, what they're trying to do, working for that organization like Citibank or HDFC. So now a guy sitting here, he'll call you, he'll try to attract different customers. So if any customer is in a need of loan, so then he might be sharing his PAN card number or further eligibility process. Now this ABC employee, if they're searching with PAN card number, the request will be sent to HDFC. And HDFC cannot get the complete information. The same thing has to be shared to RBI from their getting back. Okay, so here in this whole process, there are three applications coming into picture. So maybe between first and second, first one is requester and second one is provider. Maybe between second and third, second is requester now, third is provider. So if you are a Pega developer working in this first one, how did you get response? So are you getting response from the direct provider? Meaning, are they having anything database ready? Or based on your request, are they requesting for something different application? So you should know each and everything. And here, as I told you, between two applications, when our integrating is happening, backend technologies need not be same. So one can be Pega, another can be Python, whatever it is. Then how it is like coordinating in between and there. Yesterday I told you for each and every backend technology. So there will be some common languages understandable. So if you are working in Amazon project where it is developed on Java, is it not understanding HTML? Java understands HTML, right? Python also will understand HTML. Maybe Pega understands HTML. Whatever it is, every technology, every backend technology or language in the world should understand something common or universal things. So one such is HTML, XML, JSON, okay, CSV. All these are something universal. Now, between two applications, irrespective of backend technology, communication should happen every time in this universal mode, common languages only. So they'll straight away ask you. So they'll straight away ask you what is like common medium used. If you say it as XML, how did you convert your Pega language into XML? The same XML data will be shared with them, and what they are supposed to do, the same XML should be converted back into their native language, maybe a .NET or Python. So they have to do their processing, and this cycle continues. So if you are working from requester's perspective, how did you manage converting it? And whatever the data they are sending, how did you reverse manage using it into your application? Everything connectedly is what we have to learn. So finally coming back here, so every Pega application, whatever I'm designing today, so it might be acting like an requester sometimes. It might be acting like a provider, and sometimes it might act as both, as I shown you here. So here, if it is something like involved into integrations, then the respective conversion process, authentication process, or authorization process, everything we have inbuilt in this Pega. Pega has like power packed features for everything. So as I told you, for next 20 years, whatever like new feature might be coming into BPM sector, everything can be handled by Pega. So that is what its level of automation today. Okay, so every one of you clearly understanding, right? Please confirm me once.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can understand any Pega application. Within Pega application, development made can be simple. It is like made easy. And if you wanted to go for reporting, it is made easy. And if you wanted to get this integrated to third-party applications, still it is made easy. Now, when I say integration, it can be as like two different types. So one is with, say, say this is our application where we are working on Pega. This might be something based on .NET. So now on this application, we have to get data from third party. So for that provider, that is third provider, we call this as provider, right? So provider is having data maintained in their database. Requester, when they are requesting for something, we are requesters are converting it, and they're trying to again reconvert it, and they're running on SQL query, and they're sending back. So in this whole cycle, so provider is very cautious in not exposing their database to the requester. Am I correct? So provider is like strictly in an mode of not exposing. They don't want to give their database access. So they are just accepting some input like PAN card number, and they're internally struggling to convert or do something, blah, 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 whatever it is. And they're writing SQL queries, or they might again send this to a third party application. That is their headache. Whatever it is, here provider mainly focusing on not to expose their main repository or source to the requesters. That is what the point is. And sometimes this provider will give their database access directly. So now if we are requesters, if I'm searching with something like PAN card number, we can directly interact with their DB. Okay, so if provider is giving us that permission, okay, so they'll directly give their database access. From here, I'm supposed to do some SQL executions to hit that table. Okay, so generally for our Pega application, we have our own database, right? So if I'm trying to maybe create, or if I'm trying to run one transaction or registering one credit card customer, okay, so that respective data has to be stored into our database. So that is very common requirement. You don't think about something writing SQL queries or anything specifically. Pega will be having its internal mechanism to handle the data into our database. Nothing surprising. Now there will be cases where this Pega application has to be connected to third-party database now. It's not about third-party application. It's like directly third-party database. In that scenario, also our Pega application, say when our Pega application can generate SQL queries automatically. Okay, so how Pega is generating automated SQL queries even with third-party application. This is what you have to know. So now overall the integration into two different things. So one is like our application is integrated with third-party application, or our application will be integrated with third-party database. Third-party database. So in interviews, they might ask you, do you have experience working with external applications? You should understand what they're asking first of all. Okay, and sometimes they'll ask you, do you have experience working with external databases? Okay, external databases. Now, sometimes provider will say that we are having two different tables. So, complete customer loan information here and customer credit cards here. Now, if they are searching with something like PAN card number, it is to get all the past loans as well as past credit card history, right? So, that is getting data from two tables. So from your Pega application, from maybe requesters end, how did you manage getting from two different tables? Okay, so there will be sometimes to write our own SQL queries. So as I told you, Pega application can generate one SQL query to interact with database tables. So database understands only SQL queries. So it will not understand what Java or what Pega or what Python. Never. It understands only SQL queries. So now if I'm trying to deal with my internal database, SQL queries will be taken care by Pega. Okay. So unfortunately, we are supposed to get data from third party application. So they are directly giving their DB access instead of they having this process automated. So what they are saying is we'll directly give you DB access. You request for something, you write your own SQL query and get the data, and we are having data, the required data maybe in three tables. That is what. So here you are supposed to struggle hard in getting data maybe from two tables or three tables or something clubbing. So even if this type of complicated scenario, do you really expect Pega can write one SQL query based on your requirement? And sometimes no, sometimes no. So there you have to go for customized SQL queries, which is almost a rare scenario. So I'm just giving you worst scenarios in during day one itself. So you have to go for something like customized SQL queries. So here, whenever you are attending interviews, okay, so out of 10 interviews, maybe in one, maybe in single interview, they might ask you that, if I'm your interviewer, that our project is completely related to third party databases. Do you have experience working with external DB integrations? This is what they'll specifically ask you. Because my project requirement is about, okay, so if I'm working in this project, I'm the interviewer working in this project. So my project is completely running on getting data from third party applications only. So you take a small example of Policy Bazaar. So you know Policy Bazaar, right? So what is this Policy Bazaar application doing? So this is one third party insurance brokering system. So what is it trying to do? So background law, or in India, we are having one LIC as one insurance company. Axis is one insurance company. So maybe HDFC is having some insurance. Okay, all these are different insurance companies. So if you wanted to get one LIC policy, you are expected to go to LIC office and get some process executed there. Or if you wanted to get one access policy, you have to do the same. But Policy Bazaar, likewise, n number of things are there. Policy Bazaar is one consultancy where all the insurance related applications can be accessed from here. If you simply log in into this Policy Bazaar, and if you are like looking for term insurance or maybe health insurance or whatever it might be, or vehicle insurance, so it will show you the responses from all the service providers. Okay, based on which if you are looking for something like access related, one request will be sent here and it will be stored in their database. So now this Policy Bazaar every time dealing with external applications only. Maybe this application number one might be having their DB exposed. So this LIC team, technical team, what they are saying. So whatever the data you wanted from us, you can take. But for that, you have to write your own SQL queries, and we are having four tables. You just get your data clubbed and use it somewhere. And this Access Bank will say like we are not exposing any database to you. So you send the input, and we are in a position to process it, and we'll send back response, whatever it is. Now, if you are maybe this, if this is running on Pega. If you are like an going for job interview here. So this interviewer will keep on asking you requirements based on external database connections only, because they are in requirement to daily work with external database part. So if it is like clubbing two or three tables, so did you write or did you get a chance to write any SQL queries? So if so, how? Okay, maybe I wanted to get data from top two records of table one, maybe last two records of table two. So these are all the things. Okay, I'm not scaring anything about SQL queries. I'm just giving the worst scenario. So it will be hardly 5 to 10 percentage. Okay, and if you say that I did not get an experience working with external DB applications, need not worry. So out of 10 or 15 interviews, maybe one project might you ask this question. If you straight away say that I did not get a much opportunity working on this area, nothing wrong there. Okay, fine. So you should at least understand how to make Pega to run that SQL query. You know, Pega can run SQL query even with external databases also. And there will be some scenarios where you have to write your own query. So if you cannot write your own query, how to make Pega to run? So what is like background OOTP available where you can make Pega to execute that? So each and everything you have to crystal clearly understand. They'll straight away ask you when you have to make Pega to run query or when you have to write your own query. If you are writing your own query, first you have to validate right whether this is really correct query or not. Where did you validate it? Okay, and if I want you to write your own query compared with Pega generated query, and I wanted to check for PAL, performance analyzer, we call this as performance analyzer. So you just compare, compare the execution between that mode and this mode and send me one report. So between these two, which looks better, according to that, we'll proceed. So each and everything will be in that area. So I know that I'm going little advanced in day one itself, but you should know that as something process oriented. I did not talk anything about Pega here, right? So this is something like overall functional requirements. Overall functional requirements. Suppose after you learning everything, you'll be very strong in Pega, right? And then you'll start attending interview. So their technical round one will be there. So something related to Pega questions only. And technical round two. So again on advanced Pega they'll test it. Say technical round three also. So even they'll test strongly on Pega. And after that there will be managerial round. Managerial round. So he is like an Pega manager, but he might not know what Pega is. Seriously. Okay, so my manager who is having 20 years of experience, he's like a manager for my complete Pega project. Under his, there will be 20 modules running out. But he will not know a single word what Pega is. Then how did he become manager? So manager ante who can manage the proper deliverables. Okay, so he's actually, my manager is actually having core knowledge on testing. Okay, he don't have any Pega knowledge, but he's still a manager. So when you are going for managerial interview, he will ask you these type of questions. He will not ask you anything about Pega oriented. He will just ask like, so you know our application is more of getting data from third party application. Okay, so third party database. So the third party is saying like three different tables is what we have to get from. So what you'll do inside Pega, that's it. So in order to ask this question, okay, so this is like common requirement in every project. So this policy buzzer application might be developed on Pega or Java or .NET or Python or C Sharp, whatever it is, but overall requirement is same, right? I wanted to make Pega to do something. Maybe in different project, I wanted to make Python to do the same. And if it is something like .NET project, I want .NET to do the same. Whatever it is, I'm a manager where I know the functional requirements, but I might not know the technical things. So I don't know how it is to be done in Pega, how it is to be done in .NET, but I know what should be done generally on a functionalities level. So managerial round will be completely on these type of functionalities only. So they may or they may not have like technical experience in that, but functionality wise they can easily manage. They can easily understand. Okay, so overall functionalities will be same, right? So after that HR discussion, generally it will be there. So here, whatever I'm talking now, it is completely based on overall functionalities. So you should be in a position to understand each and everything inside Pega. Okay, this is my requirement. How I have to do with Pega. So maybe I how to avoid customized things, how to make executed with whatever the things I already have in Pega. So all these things you should clearly understand. So for every one of you, clear, right? Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, fine. So now if I'm developing any application using Pega, so its internal development can be made simple. That is UI part, its backend logic, DB, everything made simple. And so whatever the data we have in database, if I wanted to go for reporting into UI screens, that is simple. So if I wanted get this to be integrated with third-party application, maybe as a requester or provider, it can be made simple. And there is one more important thing called versionizing. What do you mean by versionizing? Say, city is our client. Okay, so our client is saying like to complete an credit card application. So our client is asking us to complete one credit card application. So maybe by December 31st. So today is Jan 1st. Okay, so here this 1 year of time is not only for the development. If you are a developer here, are you really thinking this whole 1 year for you? No, right? So there will be different phases in between. So whenever client is giving us deadline, so that is nothing but it must be pushed into production by that time. So the real users should be using by that time. That is what their thinking is. So internally, there will be different phases, right? Initially development phase will be there. It might be 2 months or 3 months according to type of methodologies. So sprint model or like waterfall or whatever it is. Every time sprint only mostly. Okay. So there will be development phase. And after development is done, next phase will be testing phase, right? So QA phase or testing phase. Now you are a developer, you have designed maybe few screens of this credit card application. And then immediately after your sprint one is completed, it will be deployed into testing server. Okay, from development, it will be deployed into testing server. And as an tester, I'll test whatever you are doing, whatever you have done completely. So if there is something like issue or defects, so no doubt it will be sent back to you again, and you are supposed to fix it, and then it is again to be deployed to me, and I have to test it. And if there are like any extra regression defects identified, again it will be sent back to you. You are supposed to fix it. So here between developers and testing, there will be different what is that deployments happening. Okay, so here developer initially whatever the piece of design he has done, so that is to be versionized as like can. That is to be versionized. That is to be sliced and pushed into a testing server. And testing team is testing it, and they are identifying some more defects, and developer has to again fix those. So there will be one more version deployed to the testing team. Okay, so likewise between developer and tester there will be multiple versions generated. So one very small simple example, suppose if we both are having same Windows laptop. Okay, we both purchased on the same date, that is Windows 11, and yours is also like Windows 11. Say in your laptop, say you are having some Bluetooth issue, Bluetooth connection is failing. What you'll do? So you'll go to customer center, right? Service center. And that respective person, uh, he'll try to do some updates. So he cannot modify, meaning the respective Bluetooth related Java execution is failing somewhere. So he cannot modify that. So once development has done something, they'll freeze. No one will modify, no one can modify that. They'll freeze it and it will be sent to testing person and next phases. So even after next phases, if something is like failed as like in your scenario, So if you go to service center, so whatever like file in the background, the Java file for Bluetooth in the background, it is having some bug, right? So they cannot open that file, they cannot modify it. What they will try to do? So they will try to download one more latest Bluetooth related update, nothing but a new Java file. And in your laptop now, so there are two files. One is like older Bluetooth and latest Bluetooth file. So here, if something is having highest, okay, so it might be having like Bluetooth 0.1 and Bluetooth 0.2, whatever it is. So in my case, there is no issue with Bluetooth, right? There will be only one main Java file, and in your case, two files. Okay. And during your execution, maybe if you restart your system, so your Bluetooth issue will be fixed. So how it is getting fixed? The latest thing where it is having like code fixed, it is overwriting the older one, right? It is overwriting the older one. So something like versionized is getting increased. Say on the next day. So if your Wi-Fi adapter or if you are like having some Wi-Fi connectivity issue. So again, you'll go to service center and they'll try to download one more Wi-Fi latest one, and it will be overwriting the existing one. And finally, after a few days, maybe if your laptop is having multiple issues and if you are getting it fixed every time. So my laptop version will be 11 only, your laptop version will be 11.2.1.3.1, whatever it is. So versions are different because of number of changes happening in your laptop. So every time, if something extra changes to be happening, they are versionizing or they're maintaining different pieces of code with different versions. So your laptop is having Bluetooth older version, maybe something other version, something other. So the highest one will be picking up, right? So they are trying to manage in the background with different versions. And Pega should pick up during execution the highest one only, right? Okay, so here in order to manage our piece of design with versions, we go for versionizing techniques. Okay, you might not understand this statement completely right away, but you'll understand slowly. So finally, every project, not only Pega, every project generally has to be maintained with different versions and has to be deployed. Okay, that versioning managing system is also available inside our Pega tool. In our Pega tool, version management is already there. You need not go for any extra separated tools license, or you need not even go for anything like extra administrator hiring for that. You need not pay them. So straight away, Pega has got inbuilt version managing system. Okay, fine. And even Pega should be having something like deployment process also. Deployment and so something like deploying its code or design from one environment to another environment. So initially development phase will be there, and that particular design has to be deployed into testing phase, and from there it must be deployed into the next one like staging phase. Nothing but UAT. And from there it might be deployed into pre-prod or maybe production. So here you as a developer sitting in Hyderabad, maybe in some TCS company working for a client. So this design is ultimately being used by an US bank employee, right? If it is like in Citibank, so in USA, so a person, employee there is using your application, whatever you're developing today. So what is happening? It is deployed slowly into different versions or different environments. So this process, we call it as deploying or deployment. Generally, in order to get this deployed from one environment to another environment, we have to go for DevOps tools. So there are n number of DevOps tools, right? Your client will be using according to his requirement. Now, or maybe if it is like DevOps tool, they have to take the DevOps license and they have to hire one administrator, okay, deployment manager for that. They have to pay for it. But if an application is developed on Pega, so internal deployment is also inbuilt. So Pega has got its own deployment manager. Okay, so if we are development team, so as part of sprint number one, we will be developing small piece of design, right? Okay, as a manager, I can go for as a technical or as a Pega manager. I can freeze all the rules under development phase, and I can get this at once deployed into testing environment also. It's like very simple. So Pega application inbuilt is having its own deployment manager. Now, if a client wanted this kind of deployment with some extra DevOps tools also, it can be possible. So Pega supports even external tool connections also. You need not worry. And you know the latest one, that is Pega is recently integrated with artificial intelligence. Okay, along with all these things, Pega is providing development easy, reporting easy, versionizing easy, integrating and deployment. So everything, right? Along with this, Pega application is having something like artificial intelligence also enabled from past 1 year, 1.5 year. So what is like specialty of we having AI integrated and so first of all, what do you mean by artificial intelligence? Okay, so what do you mean by AI? So generally, whatever like human requirement will be, system should think and it has to do some output for us. Am I correct? Suppose if you wanted to generate a small image, so like a man running or whatever it is, if you wanted to generate a small image. So with the latest tools, whatever we have in the market, what you guys will do? You'll simply open Chat GPT or maybe Gemini related or Copilot related, whatever it is. There are like multiple AI service providers free of cost for a personal usage. You'll simply open Chat GPT and type your query. I'm looking for so and so. I wanted to download one Excel sheet to get some test data imported into my table, whatever it is. You are just giving like one line of command. So it is in pure English, right? Or Telugu, whatever it might be. You can just give any regional language also. So background, the respect to AI provider is understanding my requirement. So in some plain English or whatever the plain language. So they are trying to understand in terms of very big LLMs. So there will be neural schemas, diffusion models, and they're understanding my input and they're giving me something best output. It might be a video or an image or an Excel sheet or maybe sample data, whatever it is, based on an user's requirement, that application is thinking and giving me something. Now the same, that level of AI is integrated into Pega. So overall, for an Pega application, who are logging in? So inside an Pega application, generally what type of people will log in? So a developer has to log in and develop something, right? A tester has to log in and test something, right? So maybe the real user will log in and he has to do something. So a real bank employee, managers, whatever it is. So inside an Pega application, what type of people generally logs in? After they're logging in, they will be having their own tasks to be done, right? So background load, there will be having something like artificial intelligence, so designed from developer perspective. So inside Pega, AI is designed from each and every person who logs in. It is designed in such a way. As a developer, I will log in. So what will be my regular duties? I wanted to design screen number one, or I wanted to design something like case types, or I wanted to design something like application structure, whatever my requirement might be. So if I give small command, so background Pega is having something like autopilot as well, Gen AI, generative AI. So there will be in fact three type of AIs. So the low level is called Gen AI. Okay, I'll talk about all these things when we're talking with Constellation. So Pega is having something like generative AI where its duty is just to generate based on the requirement. So here the requesting person might be a developer or a tester or the real user. As a developer, I log in and I'll plan to do some development. So background AI should give me some response which should be useful for me, right? So if my requirement is to generate or design something like a banking sector, so a city bank under which there must be something like reusable part, maybe all the credit card applications, maybe all the insurance applications, you take anything. So you take like famous organization like Tata in India. So for Tata organization, just imagine how many sectors are there. So maybe under petroleum, they might be having something. Under IT department, they might be having under jewelry, they are into motors, they are into different insurances. Yes, right. So under each and every sector, they are having like multiple units also. So they wanted to manage all these applications. So first, as a developer, I have to first create their organization structure. So for that, I need not struggle with my own brain. So I can go for something like AI inputs. So Pega has got its own generative AI where based on the developer's command background one autopilot will execute and it will understand my sector. So if it is like banking sector or if it is like insurance sector, so if I just give an statement that we are looking for banking, it will suggest what should be the further applications. So you please try to manage credit card application internally of credit card management. So there must be credit card registration, there must be separate as credit card cancellation, credit card upgradation, credit card recovery, credit card operations team, so credit card blacklist team or credit card audit team. So here artificial intelligence is suggesting n number of things based on one small input I give. Okay, so here from development perspective, background Gen AI is thinking and helping me a lot. And coming to the testing prospect, it doesn't mean that AI is replacing a developer. No, it is making a developer's role little faster, nothing much. Don't think like AI is replacing a Pega developer. Okay, similarly, a tester. So a tester will be logging in. If I'm a tester, what I'll try to do? Generally, a testing people, what they'll try to do? So they'll try to log and they'll test with some test data. Okay, so they have to test with some test data. So for that, they did not type each and everything. Suppose I have a screen. I'm working in a bank, a credit card related. A customer is coming to me and he's asking for some registration. So for that, whenever we start registration process, so our first thing is about like collecting survey. I wanted to collect his first name, last name, from where are we, from where he's knowing about us. So each and everything, something survey kind of. Say 10 or 20 values is what I'm supposed to collect. All these are mandatory. Now, customer is something like Harry Berry or my manager, what today he's saying, like he's giving me 20 targets for registering credit cards. So collecting survey is not that useful for me. So registering a customer is useful for me, right? In that scenario, if I waste a time of collecting survey details for every customer, I might not be meeting my target today. So what I have to do? Maybe instead of I entering each and everything. So if that screen which is developed on Pega and that which is developed with AI enabled. So the latest features is like AI enabled, right? So there will be a button called fill form with AI. So in each and every UI screen, you need not specifically drag and drop an button like AI. So there is one inbuilt button by default, fill with AI. If I click on that, so background low, so one input will be sent to autopilot. Okay, that AI service provider will understand the user's requirement. So here user is in a thought of filling a form which is under survey. So maybe the same screen might be about like educational details, right? The same screen might be about like employment details, right? So if I click on a button on a particular screen, so background that AI is understanding what I'm looking for. So if it is about like something like educational, it has to give me some test data related to my school name, my education name, whatever it is. And if I'm requesting something for an address details, address form to be filled out, so it has to give something according to that. So background low, there is AI enabled for every Pega application. That is very, very useful information today. Very, very useful feature. And one simple example, suppose if you are using Airtel, or generally you guys will be using Airtel or Jio, right, mostly. Okay, so you wanted to contact to customer care. So you wanted to connect it to customer care. What we used to do earlier? So what we used to do? Earlier we used to visit Airtel store in person. Am I correct? We used to visit the store in person. And after that, we got an advanced design of contacting customer care from your mobile phone itself. So you can take your normal mobile phone and you can call some number like 121 or 123 and it will be connected to the customer care and they'll address everything. And these days, the latest one, you need not call anyone or you not visit in person anywhere. You can straight away open your Airtel mobile application. And there will be something like help and support. Or you can just open Airtel main website also, whatever it is. So there will be something like help and support. So if you click on this, you will see something like a chatbot race created, right? So there you straight away it will start greeting you. So welcome Chandra, how can I assist you? And just below that it will give me some suggestions also. My internet is not working, or I'm looking for relocation, or I wanted to convert from prepaid to postpaid, or I wanted to upgrade my existing broadband plan, whatever it is, by default suggesting me few options. Now if I say like prepaid to postpaid conversion, and one request is sent from a very minimal input is receiving from the user, based on which it is giving me something extra details, right? So that is maybe something like maybe if you click on my internet is not working, so there again it will give me some suggestions like is your router turned on, maybe if you did try restarting, whatever it is, based on every small sub menu option I selected, it is generating me something more. So the overall functionality today in the entire world is about generating only. Okay, so as I told you, there will be three level of AIs. The first one is after all generating. Generating can be something, an image or a video or an Excel sheet or maybe file or maybe some set of structure, whatever it is, it's hardly generating. Based on user input, it has to generate. Second level will be, it will be thinking like an human. Third level will be superhuman. So it will be thinking over an human. Supernova is what will go. Okay, I'll explain all these things. Today we are at phase one, that is Gen AI in the entire world. So in BPM sector, Pega is the only one where it is having enabled with AI. So this Pega application background AI provider will be something, right? Suppose if I ask you to generate an image normal. So some guys will be using ChatGPT, some guys will be using Perplexity, and maybe Nano Banano or Copilot, whatever it is. So you will be having different AI tools, and based on your feasibility or based on your is that based on your better way, you'll try to get somewhere, right? Now the Pega application is also connected to some AI provider. It is not having its internal AI neural schema. It is connected to a third party application, third party AI service provider. Now my city client, so getting this Pega license, he can get this AI features also enabled. Now my city client is saying like, so what are the AI responses we are getting here? I'm not comfortable. So let's connect our Pega application with ChatGPT. Let's connect our Pega application with something like Gemini. Okay, so here Pega application is inbuilt or internally integrated with something like AI provider, that is nothing but Azure OpenAI today. And if they want this to be connected to the different one, everything can be possible. So finally, concluding statement is, if an application is developed with Pega, it is providing end-to-end solution for the customer. Suppose we are the customers, we wanted to start a bank in Hyderabad. Okay, so for that, if I choose Pega, so where development can be made simple, integration, everything. So GenAI part, each and everything, whatever generally I require, everything is provided in Pega only. So that is where Pega is providing end-to-end solution to the client. All the clients are choosing Pega for their business processing applications. Okay, so generally a client who is choosing Pega, he must be like an premium client only because of licenses and other things. Pega is the only one where it has got so power packed features with AI enabled. Okay, so most of the clients will be going with Pega only. They'll not think much about like license related things, but in terms of their business generation, it is super fast. So there are like other tools in the market. There are like competitors even for Pega. And as I told you, so not even 50% automation is done. You have to write coding there. And there is nothing like AI features also enabled. Okay, constellation part is not there. So Pega has got such super things. Okay, so all the clients are being attracted for Pega today. Okay, so if an project is being developed on Pega, So no doubt it can be developed in very, very less time compared to the traditional approach. Say if in a traditional approach, so consider this one. So one Pega developer generally can do whatever like traditional developer is doing, right? Okay, so if I wanted to start one or design one application in traditional approach, I have to hire one UI team, I have to hire one Java development team, database team, a Tableau developer, one for deployment, one for versioning. So there might be like 20 member team and I have to pay. So client has to pay this 20 member for minimum of 2 years. So the each and every developer here has to design from something from zero, right? So it will take long time to get some output. So it might take 2 years or 5 years. Client is supposed to pay for 5 years for this 20 members. And on the other hand, so one Pega developer can do what an front-end developer is doing. He might not have such level of coding knowledge. One developer can do what an Java developer is doing, maybe what an database developer. So he can replace each and every traditional developer's tasks. And that too, we don't require 20 member team in this case, just 5 or 6 members are enough in this ratio. And that too, we don't design anything from zero. If I wanted to send an email, do I really write some Java coding? No, right? Not correct. Everything is on inbuilt. Say it will take minimum of 10 percentage of your traditional time. Say 6 months. I'm going to just an example. So client has to pay only for 5 developers for 6 months. So just imagine how budget he is saving here. So that is where all the projects are all the clients are attracted to develop their projects with Pega. So there are like huge projects or opportunities inside Pega. You need not worry. So learning Pega is more lengthy. Okay, so Pega is like very, very big integrated tool. Okay, so you learn Tableau. Tableau is one small part that is in the entire project. It will do a small part. That's it, reporting only. And you learn something like in DevOps. It is doing a small part. Okay, and you go for something like integration. It is doing a small part. Okay, but Pega is completely integrated. So inside Pega, you should know how to do development. You should know how to go for unit testing, and you should know how to go for deployment and other stuff. Learning Pega is lengthy. I don't say it as a difficult, but it is lengthy. So continuous consistency is required from day one. So for the next 4.5 months, you guys should completely cooperate with me, and then only you can stand where you want it to be. Okay, I want you to be learning all the projects and all the user stories, each and everything. So in terms of deployment perspective, in terms of like integration perspective or reporting perspective or development perspective or constellation related or whatever like integration related, everything you are supposed to learn perfectly. Okay, so that is what I wanted you to be. Okay, fine. I think we answered most of the things what you are looking inside and Pega, and we'll understand like what actually Pega is. You as an Pega developer, what you'll do on day one. So consider you are like and deployed into some project. You attended all the interviews and you got selected into some company. And if your manager is asking you to do some task, so if it is like day one for you, so you guys generally won't have experience, but you will be projecting like 3 years or 4 years or sometimes 5 years also, right? How to manage there with such fake experience, and what are like do's and don'ts, how to start your screen number one or project number one. So you might be deployed into a project directly where backend integration might be there. It's not like everything you have to design something from screen designing only. No, it's not like that. So today you can join some company where they might straight away ask you to work on a requirement related external database integration, whatever it is. So you should be in a position to understand first of all what they're asking you. You should be in a position to understand then how to fix it, how to analyze it, how to start, where to start. Okay, what you should do, what you should not do, what you have to ask your manager, what you should not ask your manager. So from business analyst perspective, how to follow the process, each and everything matters. It's not like just learning the subject, you have to learn the process also. If you are like very strong technically, and if you go to the manager and ask something what you are not supposed to ask, they'll straight away ask you, are you really experienced or not? Everything matters. Okay, so slowly you'll calm down. So that's it for today's session. Every one of you clear with today's class? Yes, right? What is it, Murthy? You're trying to ask something? Will we be able to explain the projects in the interview and face technical one and two? Yes, obviously. Okay, so you should be like an pro from practical oriented. It's not about like theory. So as I told you and again telling you, so there is nothing like theory in the interview. Every interviewer will ask you or will expect you something in more practical way only. And will be working on the projects, very strong projects. So you should be exposing the same projects as if like you have done in the real time. So after our training is done, so I'll prepare your resume. So there I'll include projects as per your requirement. Maybe your requirement might be looking on banking project or insurance, whatever it is. And I'll explain you how you have to explain it there. So everything correlating in our this journey, learning journey. So here, whatever you learn and if you can correlate this and explain there, it will be very easy for you. Instead of you something memorizing or by hearting there, it will not be that simple, right? So you'll come to know each and everything in terms of practical or what is that? Theoretical perspective as well. Got it, everyone of you? That's right. Everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining.